Hello and welcome back to another OMNIHEROES video. In this video we're just going to look at a couple of different units that you want to build around. Specifically what teams they go on and how to best bring out all of their abilities. So the first unit on the list is Halis. She was completely free. Last season you were able to get her up to 3 stars free to play, and if you paid in to the different decrees throughout the course of the season, and you were able to get a lot of the shards for her, then you were able to get her up to sort of 5 stars, where I'm at with her at the moment. Now, the reason that you want to build around Halis, each time Halis gains Reflect boost, she applies 1 stack of attack boost to all allies. And at the start of each round, Halis gains attack based on the total stacks of Reflect boost and attack boost in the team. Each stack increases her attack by 20% up to 20 stacks. Additionally, it increases our allies' max HP by 10%, defense by 5%, and up to 20 stacks of those as well. So very powerful abilities indeed, and effectively a support unit as well as a big attacker. Now let's jump into the Lost City, just as a testing ground. And what we want to do is we want to build around Halis. Now, first unit, Halis, absolutely. Second unit that you want to go with is, funny enough, Merlin. The reason for that is they share the Monarch synergy. They also share the Doom synergy as well. But primarily it's because of what Merlin does on his attack. So receives 2 stacks of Reflect boost. So Merlin will add his Reflect boost and also gains 2 stacks of Reflect boost. So that's on his ultimate skill and on his active skill. Now, if you are lucky enough to have Merlin's exclusive runes, physical damage reduction increases by 30% for all allies, but each time Merlin takes an action, he applies 1 stack of Reflect boost on all allies for 3 rounds, which is 5 allies or 6, depending if you've got Madeline or another summoner, and it will apply Reflect boost on all allies for 3 rounds. That plays in very well with Halis, the next unit that you want to have a look at. You can go a couple of different ways. So the first way is to go sort of Ophelia, Dahlia, and then potentially Cleo. You do have the full 5 here, 5 Dooms, which increases the attack stacking and reflect stack as well. You would also have the Monarchs if you had Cleopatra up to the 8-star mark, because she would then put the Monarch synergy in. Now this is a Dooms team, so if you don't have Halis's exclusive runes, this is the team build that really you should be going for. If you do not have Dahlia, you can take her out and you can replace her with Athena. Now the reason that we would replace her with Athena is because of these. So applies 2 stacks of Reflect boost on 2 random ally units, and applies 2 stacks of Reflect boost on 1 random ally, as well as her runes. So increases the stack limit by 5, and when an ally receives an attack, 50% chance to gain 1 stack of attack boost, which is unlimited up to the max attack stacks. So just something to keep in mind. You can replace Dahlia, if you do not have a copy of her, with Athena, and this team will work absolutely fine. So let's go ahead and put it into practice. I'm just going to switch these round. Let's go ahead and apply Reflect. In fact, we'll go ahead, put you in, and then we'll apply Reflect reduction. Not Reflect reduction, we'll apply Reflect stacks. Because you don't know, when casting Whirling Blade, applies stun, but also grants the ally team 1 stack of Reflect rate boost as well. So just something to keep in mind. And then we'll go ahead and add in, you can go ahead and add in Famine Scales, but really doesn't contribute too much. So when we inflict Confuse, the allies max HP increased by 75%, fantastic, but we're not applying any Confuse, so we can go with this Wrath of Judgment. So it increases attack by 10%, but I'm going to go with the Demon Blade Whip, and it's because of the HP increases. So it works very well with Ophelia. Ophelia, in case you don't know, she will, every time an effect increases max HP of allies, provide an additional attack bonus with conversion rate of 50%, or applies Sanctuary, and then if you have her exclusive runes, will also increase max HP when applying Sanctuary as well. So a very powerful effect indeed. So we'll go ahead and just try this team out and see how well we do. As you can see, I've not included Dahlia on this team, just because Dahlia is a whole other video by herself in trying to build around Dahlia. There's just so much that you can do, especially if you have her exclusive runes. Very powerful effects indeed. So we do get the stun off, and we get the increase in reflect rate twice. So every time we're taking an action now, or every time we get hit, we can also increase our reflect rate boost, which will increase team's attack, HP, and defense as well. So just something to keep in mind. And Athena putting the work in there. Unfortunately, Merlin been taunted, of course, but Halis up to a respectable 2,000 million damage. Compared to the other units on the team, 197 million. As you can see, the attack stack working very well. If we did have another Monarch, this wouldn't be too much of an issue. And don't worry about Ophelia dying, she just always does, no matter what. Now, as you can see, we're applying the reflect stacks, and we're applying the attack bonus as well. So just something to keep in mind. Again, Halis on her ultimate there, or her active skill, still doing 1800, so can work very well together. Unfortunately, taken down on this one is what it is, but can be used with Dahlia instead. So wherever you go, it'll give effectively the same thing. So that's another Dooms. Now, next unit on the list. Now, the next unit on the list is Janna, the Soul Empress, and what we're looking for here is to power this ability up right here. So when any unit on the battlefield dies, Janna increases her attack by 50% up to 20 stacks. Now, the combo that everybody uses for Janna is to pair alongside Mavis. The reason is because whenever Mavis dies, she has a chance to come back, or she does come back up to 3 times. And if you have her up to 11 stars, or 11 stars, she will deal 1 times the damage of her ultimate to all allies. So very powerful effect, and that's to all allies, all enemies. Very powerful effect indeed. So pairing these two together, great combination. Really, really good combo. Mavis, quite difficult to get. Janna, available various different ways, Oracle shops and all that. Now, what you want to do is you primarily want to build around Janna. Although you can build around Mavis, it's much easier to build around Janna, and that's because there are other phantoms within the synergy as well. If you want to go 4 phantoms, 5 Avengers, you can put Cleopatra in here. I'm going to keep banging on about Cleopatra because she's absolutely fantastic as a unit. But primarily, if you don't have a copy of Cleopatra, you can add in any of the other Avengers. I typically prefer Lachesis in this spot for PvP because she removes all buffs, and it's one of the first things that happen is Lachesis will remove all buffs. So let's go ahead and jump in and see how this team performs. We'll use some pretty standard relics. If you want more survivability, you take out your sphere here, and you can put in Blades of Chaos. But for the purpose of this, we're going to put Spear in, and we will go ahead and put in this as well. So something else to keep in mind, if you do have Janna's exclusive runes, let me just show those. So when any unit on the battlefield dies, she applies shield equal to 200% of her attack for 3 rounds. If you have her red runes, it goes up to 1000% of her attack. So just something to keep in mind. But these two are the primary combo, so Janna and Mavis, and surrounding them with other phantom units which will allow more units to die will only increase Janna's attack further and her survivability, with thanks to her runes. Every time a unit dies she gains that shield. Absolutely fantastic. I do love this combo, and unfortunately Sal has been phased out, and he's only really good in niche events, like for example Rift Odyssey this season. That's why you wouldn't include him on this team. You can potentially include him in the same spot as Lachesis is. This is going to be a very long fight, by the way, so potentially I might just go ahead and skip. But we'll see the combo hopefully in action, and we'll get Mavis taken out rather quickly. Yeah, there we go. So I think Mavis is down, or will be after they attack. So Emily and Franz and Celine still to attack. So yeah, there we go. Mavis down, Althea down. We like the fact that they've all died and they all come back to life with thanks to Althea, and they come back the same round as well. So we do get another trigger, and we do get more of these clones or the strangers. They will die, and they will trigger Nerissa. Nerissa, she's okay. She just needs a damage buff. She really does. So Janna here, as you can see, doing massive amounts of damage, because a lot of units on the battlefield have died already. And that only gets stronger the more times that Mavis dies. So we do want Mavis to die as much as possible, but we want Mavis to survive for as long as possible as well. So something to keep in mind there. And I think we've shown off the power of the team. I think this will be a victory. Yeah, 6 rounds. Not bad. Janna doing the most. Mavis following up. I've seen Mavis do more damage than Janna, but it's because the fight hasn't gone on for long enough. So let's jump into the next team. When I said team, I meant Elma. Let's jump into the next unit. But Elma does have a number of different teams that you can pop him on. So Elma here, in case you don't know, in fact I'll just show it off again. In case you don't know, Elma, he does physical damage to all enemies, very important, all enemies. Single target, not as effective. When Elma, after Elma intimidates and damages the enemy with Divine Authority, has 100% a chance to apply Taunt. Very powerful ability in PvP and PvE, PvP especially. Elma holds his ground and won't die as long as there's at least one ally alive. This also very powerful ability. Holds back a lot of single target damage units if they're opposite Elma. The team that you want to build around him typically would be something like this. So you have your 2 monarchs in Victoria, Macaria, Leandra and Atrops to buff up Elma as much as possible. We have the full 5 Valianters there as well. So Elma will get that attack buff, physical attack buff here. Applies a sail, so it's 150% for 4 rounds. At the start of battle applies 25% damage immunity boost. So helps the survivability of the whole team. Leandra also helps survivability, so this team just keeps going and going and going. Really tough to deal with in PvE. In PvP. You really do need to hit this back row as quickly as you can if you're fighting this team. The only real way to do it is through a sort of Mystifier synergy, through the Doom's Reflect synergy as well. But a really strong showing from this team. So typically there is a specific relic attributed to Elma, and it is the mirror. So Python's mirror. So when Python's mirror emits a gloomy light, when 4 units in the battlefield die, it grants 1 revival chance to 2 random surviving allies. And then Python's mirror. So yeah, effectively, you can have the Avengers effect within the Valianters team, which can be a very powerful thing. So if Elma goes down, so if the entire team goes down, Elma goes down, he's got a chance to come back as well. Again, what a unit. If you don't have him at 7 stars, he should be the priority. He'll get you through so much PvE content, and will work really well in PvP against the likes of the Ethereals, against the likes of Glorians, some of the strongest teams within the format. Elma just doesn't lose to them typically, unless they're way above your power level. So as you can see here, we do get the attack buff from Atrops, which will power up Leandra, granting Holy Shield eventually. But Elma here to taunt the entire enemy team, so they will all go for him. Really, really useful in PvP if you've got quite a high damaging team as well. You want to finish off as many of these as possible. So Victoria here doing relative damage. And then Macaria there to do probably the most damage on the team. You can also replace Leandra with Nyx, but I found for survivability that Leandra is probably your better bet. And it is because of that Holy Shield function as well. So we would have got that Holy Shield had this minion survived as well. But again, we can go ahead and skip this. As you can see, Victoria down on the front row, but Elma still standing strong and very powerful. A very powerful unit indeed. So let's jump on to the next unit. So the next unit is Saraphina. Now, Saraphina, in case you don't know, is just a healer. So let's have a look. Heals all allies for 120%, not bad. Heals all allies for 30%, and this is only at, as you can see, 8 stars, but I've not needed to take her past 8 stars to beat any sort of difficult content. Now, increases Seraphina's heal rate by 50%. Absolutely fine. When Seraphina's alive, there's a 50% chance to apply 1 stack of Blessing each time they are attacked. Limited up to 3 times per round, so this is one of the better tools to use in PvP, specifically because you want to avoid taking damage. So invincible when taking damage, immunity to 1 instance of damage and 1 debuff can be very powerful if we're applying that blessing quite frequently. Now it is only, like I said, 50% chance. But it's not why you run Saraphina. The reason that you run Saraphina is because of her exclusive runes. It does take a long time to save up for, but I promise it's absolutely worth it. At the start of each round, if the total number of buffs on our allies exceeds 30, applies Ignore Shield to all rounds to all allies for 1 round. That in itself is such a powerful ability, especially against the likes of Katrina, who applies that shield in PvP, against Macaria, who boosts shield up by 50%, and against teams which rely on shielding to survive. So where are you? There you are. Audrey, the latest unit, gets absolutely nerfed by Saraphina. Being in the meta. It's always been the way. The fact that Saraphina can allow the Glorian team to go under shields in opposing or mirror matches just makes Audrey kind of redundant in sort of 1 team versus 1 team. She gets a lot better in, sort of 5 teams versus 5 teams, or 7 teams versus 7 teams. She gets a lot better because there's a lot less chance of Saraphina being opposite the unit, opposite Audrey here. So just something to keep in mind. Now, we do have a Glorians team that we can build around. So Saraphina is a striker, so we are looking to build a strikers team. The way that you can do that is through Gloria and Nawi, both strikers on the Glorians team. If you do have Cleo at 8 stars, you can get up to 4 strikers for the team, and I would suggest probably Audrey or Ariana in this slot here to build around this team. Now it's not the most reliable team, and the reason that it's not the most reliable team is because of Nawi. Nawi has, I don't know, I think Nawi's just fallen off quite recently, and it's because of this here. So she's got a 50% chance. 50% is not guaranteed. It's not 100% chance. I beat quite a tough opponent with my Ethereals team when they had their Nawi up, and the reason for that is because Nawi didn't proc in round 1, and then subsequently they lost Saraphina, and so they couldn't go underneath shields anymore. It was quite a good match. I won't show off now. I'll probably put it in a video another time, but this team build here, absolutely fine. You might want to switch Nawi with Gloria or Ariana, and you can also go ahead and add Atrops in for that 4 strikers, 4 Glorians team setup. And this is a very powerful team and very accepted within PvP circles, or it used to be until it kind of got phased out, but still very respectable team and will get you very far throughout PvE content as well. Ariana works very well, providing the damage reduction, so helpful against opposing Udoras. Gloria, giving the front line much needed defense and protection or damage reduction. Atrops to boost everybody's attack, and the striker synergy to give 30% attack every round, helping Ariana out as well. There are a lot of other ways to build around Saraphina. Specifically, I know I've not even mentioned it because it's, like I said, it's a whole other video in itself. Is Dahlia, Astrid, Atrops, Saraphina, and probably Ophelia. This is probably the best team in the meta at the moment, specifically in PvE. In PvP, it works kind of well, but not really. This team lineup will do the most damage in the game at the moment. Now, you can, if you are if you are rich enough and have all of the units, you can go ahead and get Seraphina's skin, and you can get Cleo up to the 7 stars. And on this team, you would have Dahlia, Astrid, Ophelia, Cleo, and Saraphina. There's no real synergy involved in this team. It's more along the lines of Cleo will double ult. So Saraphina will go first, Cleo will double ult, Dahlia will switch with Cleo, and then Dahlia will do a massive amount of damage, with thanks to Ophelia and Astrid pumping the team up as well. Really powerful team, but again, not something achievable for everyone because it uses a lot of new units, or it requires a lot of heavy investment into the existing units. Specifically Seraphina and Astrid both need epic runes in order for that to work properly. You don't need epic runes for Atrops, you don't need epic runes for Dahlia, but Ophelia really could do with the epic runes to give the additional attack on Sanctuary, or additional HP on Sanctuary as well. So yeah, that's the lineup around Seraphina. Many different ways to build her, but again, going with strikers within your Glorians team and then building around that, I found to be the best option, really. So like, we would have 4 strikers, 5 Glorians, very powerful setup. If you don't have Cleo, again, you can just add our Atrops in, absolutely fine. So let's move on to the next team. Now, when I say team, I mean Udora. You could probably just have Udora by herself. And let's go ahead and see. Yeah, let's hold on. Let's have a bit of fun. And we'll just pop this in the background whilst we work, or whilst I talk anyway. We'll go with you. Yep, absolutely. Now, Udora, one of the most prominent units, and I think, well, I hope that Udora will be coming to the shop. Dead, shame. But I do hope that Udora will be going to the shop, the Oracle shop, soon, because typically you would find Udora in the Anniversary Oath in this exact slot where Cleopatra is. Because Cleopatra is here, it leads me to believe that next season we will be seeing Udora in the shop, in the Oracle shop here. Yes, we'll be seeing Udora added to the Oracle shop. I really hope that's the case. I don't know for sure, but I suspect that will be the case, because moving forward, I think at the end of every season on the final Oath, Cleopatra will become available in that oath. So the next time we're going to see Cleopatra, I suspect, will be the end of next season. Now, back to Udora. How do you build around Udora? Well, you can go with a typical ethereal setup, potentially even using Cleopatra. I know I'm going to keep banging on about her, but potentially using that, because you've got the 5 ethereals and you'd have 3 protectors, and if you don't, or if you do have Wukong, you can get up to 4 protectors, 5 ethereals, 4 royals, 3 celestials, 1 deviant in this team. Building around Udora, you want to get as much crit damage in as possible because of how many hits that she does. I don't particularly need to go in and explain altogether too much, but again, Udora here, somebody you can build around. Now, let's go ahead and jump into this battle. I think the relics are absolutely fine. This is the team setup that I've been using in PvP recently, and it's because of the protector synergy. It's because of the shielding mechanic from Katrina. It's because of the healing factor from Karnak, and it's because of the damage between Wukong and Udora as well. So again, for me, really powerful, really amazing abilities, and one of the reasons why she was top for so long. I think Dahlia is now top, and I don't think there's any two questions about it. I think Dahlia is the best unit in the game, because you do require red runes for Udora. Well, you don't require them, but they do really help, really help things out quite a bit. And the reason for that is because she double ults, and she ults every turn. Now, this here, very good. Yeah, we quite enjoy this. As you can see, shielding is quite high because Katrina's attack is quite high. And then Katrina to finish things off. You don't even need Wukong in that. Really powerful. Really good. Absolutely love it. Now, the other way to go with Udora is to go full Valianters. Seems a bit weird, but if we go Yu and Victoria, and we can pop, yeah, we'll pop Udora down here, change up the relics. I'll go with you, Bow and Knight's Edge. And the reason that you can do that is because of the Valianters here. So applies a sail, so increasing physical damage, and Udora does physical on her ult as well. So this is why occasionally you'll see Udora in the Valianters lineup, is because of the it is because of the physical damage increase for the first 4 rounds. Because you're doing so much damage with Udora, it's much. Oh, you're doing so many attacks with Udora. It's very powerful tool indeed. So we'll see Elma pop off here, and then we'll see Udora start doing a bit more damage as well. So as you can see, 1,000 million, not bad, and then again, close to 1,000 million with that. So she nearly finished a lot of them off. Valiant is now able to go ahead and polish off the rest of the team with the execution ability. So we'll see this here. And Makaria's runes kicking in there. Still really effective tools. And we can look to execute the rest of these enemies very shortly. Specifically with Udora. So we can see how it all functions together. Giving that additional physical damage to Udora is very powerful very early on, because she's doing a lot of damage. So, yep, that's, I think that is going to be it from me. There are other units that you can look to build around. So if we jump into, crap, I really did just finish them all off. Well, right, okay, so jump into Phantom. What you can do is you can look to do Mystifiers as well, specifically these two. These two as a combination, really powerful, really powerful. I'm not going to go too in depth, but just having these two on your front line is going to keep your team alive for a very long time. Now, that's it from me. I do hope you've enjoyed watching and you've learned something. If you do need any help, or you think I've missed any units, please let me know down below, and I'll see if I can do another part to this or whatever. If you can subscribe for more content, I really appreciate it. And if you can leave a like, then yeah, again, it'd be really appreciated. So just want to say thank you very much for watching, and you have a great day.